Alright, well, I know this looks kind of funny, and it really is kind of, but it fits the bill. To try to find the single-phase motor, the counterpart to this, is nearly impossible. It's an OEM motor. You can't find this motor except for going through the manufacturer. So the characteristics are, you know, pretty much the same with this single-phase motor here. The mount's going to be a whole different ball game. So, but it's only 3 horsepower, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Let me pull this out of the box here. Everyone likes a good unboxing video, right? Alright, well, the other motors that I could find, and even a replacement motor like this, is somewhere around $400 or $500, you know, so it gets kind of pricey, and I don't want to spend that kind of money. So I picked up this one right here for, well, that was the, that's without, to the door, $172.88, so I can live with that for this experiment, and we'll see what goes on. The other thing is, the rotation on this is a fixed rotation. You can't alter it, and it's supposed to be counterclockwise, looking down the shaft, it says. So there's a little controversy, and I didn't feel like going through the 800 number and talking to somebody that really didn't even know what I was talking about anyway. So I took a chance on this being correct, but we'll find out. All right, out of the box there, and you can see it's perfect. You know, I mean, it's 3 horsepower. 3450, 240 volt, but it says it's non-reversible down here, as you can see, but it doesn't show which way it turns. There's no arrow on it, so I guess we'll have to give her the old test run to find out and kind of go from there. Alright, kind of out here on the side of my house here, working on putting up a workshop over in this area over here, a little lean-to type gimmick, but that's another project for another day. But at any rate, so I got her hooked up here to the, I had a neighbor over here, and so I got this hooked up to the motor starter for the compressor here, and I've already started it, and it luckily it does go the appropriate way, counterclockwise, which is good. So that'll work in conjunction with the way it wants to turn. And it looks like it'll fit in the hole here. I have to put it on this piece of channel I've been looking at here, and kind of go from there. Alright, went ahead and removed the panel and straightened this out as well as I could. I'll just mount all the switches and the hour meter back on here and set it back on, but it should be pretty decent. Alright, so I got the motor in here kind of just mocked up, so to speak, to see how it's going to fit in here. I want to utilize these rubber bushings here, and then come up with a piece of stock down here to fit in here, and I'm going to try to find these holes here. So basically what I'm going to do is just take the motor off and take it apart and take that front housing off, and I can mark some holes in the perfect center, and it should be fine. Alright, went ahead and took the motor apart right here, because I'm going to need to use some longer threaded rod to actually go through these holes that aren't here yet, and that's just the way I'm going to work this whole thing. Now you may be asking yourself, what about the fan? Because the fan that was on here is definitely not going to work. Whoops, whoa. Is definitely not going to work in this other application. It's just the shaft size is just too different. So what I plan to do here is I've got a couple of 220 volt 4x4 industrial cooling fans that are going to mount just right inside of here. They should do just fine. So let me get some holes in here and the whole thing mounted up and see how that goes. Kind of like that. Alright, came up with this little arrangement right here. I think it'll work pretty good. It's sitting a little bit low on the ass end here, so I got like 6 flat washers under here, and I still got a bunch of room underneath here, so I think probably like 3 more of those, and probably be perfect shape here. Well, I'm guessing that ought to work. It sure is tight and taut, like it's not going to go anywhere. And she is, it's one with the unit. I still got to mount the this back foot down right here, and I'll have the pulley, not the pulley, yeah, the pulley and the bushing, and let's see what else, and the fans. Yeah, I'll have those in a day or two, and then should be up and going. One thing, you'll see that this motor has a its own thermal protection. So this is like kind of like the compressor motor that would use the pressure switch just for a starter, and then you rely on the motor for the overload. So by all rights, you really don't need the overloads that are on the contactor, but it is what it is. So this ought to be interesting, but it should fit the bill and it should work. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, guys.